Open it, don't be shy. Full glass it is okay? Friends, welcome to Vladivostok. This is where our journey to the country begins, about which many legends are made in the most closed and secret country, North Korea. With my dimensions, of course, it's not very comfortable for me to sit here. Finally, we leave the airport. We spent almost 2 hours after the flight.
We are now at the Pyongyang International
Simultaneously.
Airport. That is 24 kilometers away from
It's
the
cold
city
outside, so you understand dancing. In a shirt is not autumn now. We are freezing in sweatshirts. Probably for us they put those 3 girls behind. Music for whom? For workers or for plants? Tells me only good things, or is it necessary? I'm just stunned right now, to be honest. This guy turned his back on principle so that no one would look or film. They are watching them. Well, the cheapest flowers. No, you can't take them off. Everyone is probably wondering what a North Korean visa looks like. That's how it is. But again, they gave it to us incorrectly because I can stay in North Korea for another day. They made a mistake with the dates. I think all this can be fixed. And for the first time in my life, I see so many soldiers at the airport. Well, the guys are leaving for the SVO. It's just jam-packed. The airport is full. Tourists, in fact, 10%. Everything else, soldiers. People are eager to fight. Everyone is already lined up. Everyone really wants to get to North Korea. They are afraid of being late.
Come in, stand here. Yes, we'll see if everyone passed or not. Please, bye.
While the flight attendants left, you could say the atmosphere was tense. The flight attendants walked around like robots and watched. Well, I just watched the cameras, the iPhones, the phones. Anything that shoots video quickly falls into their gaze. It's not allowed to shoot at all. They immediately ran up, delete the frame. I don't know how old the plane is, but it's very noisy. The main thing is that they fly. And now the Korean music stopped singing. But something was singing from the old torn speaker. Welcome to the fairy tale. The noise of the plane, even on the ground, the noise of the plane starts to make your ears pop. That is, during turbulence, all this can fall on your head. Well, let's get started already. Of course, with my dimensions, it is not very comfortable for me to sit here. Just a little bit more, and we'll break away.
It is mandatory to fill in these are the electronic declarations that you import, but here it is still unclear. You need to list everything. How many phones? How many cameras? Streetlights, that is. Absolutely everything related to electronics money. If more than $10,000 basically, such paperwork. Food from Korean Airlines. And a bottle of some Chinese grape Sprite. Well, it looks like him. It smells like Korea. Pretty good. Have to film like a spy. Constantly hide the camera. By the way, Besides the 2-3 stewardesses, there is also some other guy here. Because most likely he is a member of the special services, because during takeoff, when the plane was standing at 45, he was already walking around the cabin with such a steely gaze. The gaze of a scanner. Some Korean sausage. Fine. Edible. The crunch of French and Korean sausage. The hour passed quickly, but it felt like the plane could fall apart at any minute. That is, it makes some sharp maneuvers. Everything is happening on it in a really rude way. So we seem to be landing today. In principle, we can clap. We are finally leaving the airport.
Activities. So, like for Mr. Lee, tomorrow is the biggest holiday in our country. That is the birthday of the great leader Kim Il-sung, our eternal president of the DPRK.
The first impressions after arrival. The plane stopped. First of all, I want to say again about the plane. It's old. Very old. The plane is firstly uncomfortable. Secondly, everything rattles and crackles. And thirdly, there was a real fear that it could fall apart during landing and takeoff. I won't lie. We arrived, stopped at the airport, and stood waiting for the first part of the plane to leave. No one stood up. That is, if you are used to it. I am at least used to it, that when we land somewhere, everyone jumps up. Everyone sits quietly, waits. Everyone waited and was afraid. But upon arrival, it is clear that there is no one at the airport. The airport is empty. Oh, now our plane and the next one after us are tourists. The airport is all clean. Well kept, not shabby, not dirty. What else can you call it? Well, it's obvious that people rarely fly into it. That is, it's not worn out. It doesn't function day after day, you could say. They checked everything right away. The declaration, everything was checked. Everything was fine. Once I showed that I have cameras, we all ate. There are guys running around with cameras filming us. Well, in the end, in theory, they should give us a flash drive. So if you want, buy the films. If you don't want, don't buy them. Filming at the airport is prohibited, so I had to constantly do it this way and that way. It was so uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. As soon as you pull out your camera or phone, you try to take a picture of something. That is, I need several pairs of eyes at once in horizontal view. They are watching you. And when we got on the bus, I also specially went to the back of the bus to take pictures. The guide saw, and the guides sat as one at the end and two in front. That is, complete control over us. You can't take pictures of the camera. I put it away on the sly. I took out my phone and, well, I just think I was taking pictures from the side. You can't take pictures of ordinary people, workers, you can't. Why? You can only take pictures of streets that are allowed. That is, you can't show the country in a bad light. We are finally leaving the airport. And when we were driving along this main street, the guide came up to me and said, "You can take pictures here. Beautiful people, beautiful houses, but if you look closely at the houses, it's an old facade. That is, from afar it's all beautiful, but if you start looking closely, you can see 1,000 defects. That it's also soaked and polished. And the whole street turns out." Where I was already allowed to take pictures on all the balconies in all the windows. There are beautiful flowers, That is, on other streets you won't see this. But when you drive a tourist along the main street, everything is beautiful and charming. The guide requests that photographs be taken near the leaders in full growth. Not in scraps. Not in pieces. Without grimaces, without glasses. This is the first rule. The second. Raw. Ban on filming local residents, only with their permission to film. Only once again, I repeat, beautiful shots, nothing bad. Nothing bad. Capture the best of the country. I won't lie, the first feeling was that I found myself in some big performance. It's all really staged, everything is unnatural. That is, adults are running with bicycles, everyone is walking with flowers. That is, just as we were riding along the street, well, to monuments, some paintings, to statues, everyone is carrying flowers and everything. When seeing tourists, some look, some turn away. Maybe for me it's the locals' facial expressions that are unusual. But my intuition does not deceive me. Something is wrong here. Well, it's a beautiful city, really beautiful. A re-interesting, first impressions. Wow, just so many emotions. Now we were given half an hour, or rather 40 minutes, to check in. I checked in alone in the room, and did not share my bed with anyone. So there is time to recharge. We go down and go somewhere. To tour the city. Room tour. Hotel overview. Everything is old, but everything is clean. Everything is really clean. Clean. Everything is well groomed. The room is basically large. But the most interesting thing is this gramophone. A cabinet with a clock and some kind of radio. I don't know what's inside. Maybe there is one. Something from wiretapping, but we have nothing to hide. View from the window of the evening Pyongyang 38th floor. And our hotel is on the island, so that we could not escape from here. You never know. I haven't experienced such emotions, to be honest. Even in Afghanistan. Everything here is somehow new to me, and so unknown and mysterious. I'm honestly glad I came here. Of course, I've seen a lot of all sorts of stuff from bloggers. But still, it's better to see with your own eyes once, as they say, than to hear 100 times. I'm just stunned right now, to be honest. I bent down under this knit stand to look at interesting places. You never know. And first I shone a candle through this whole box as far as the eye could reach, and under this knit stand there is a camera at the bottom. A small infrared camera with infrared radiation. I literally just recently looked at cameras. I think there are places where you need to shoot a small camera. I'm just in shock right now, of course. What I just saw. I had such thoughts as to really look through the whole room. So I looked through it on my own head, as they say. I definitely can't take a picture of it for you. Interesting. Everything is under control, as they say. Finally, evening came. They drove us around the city. But it was all faster. I stopped to take pictures. Faster, to the bus. Then it got dark, and that was it. Everyone was taken to dinner. We went into some restaurant on the first floor. There was a department store on the second floor. There was a department store. There was no one there except us. Well, someone did some shopping, including me. We went up to the 3rd floor, had dinner, and that's it. But I'll be honest. In the evening I saw the faces of robots. Not people, but robots. That is, everyone is in such a tense state. You want to say something, but you can't describe it. People are like they're at some kind of masquerade ball. I mean the locals. I tried to start a conversation with the guide. I say, "Can you show me the national currency? Tomorrow, can you show me your cell phone? I'm interested in seeing what everything looks like tomorrow, how much? Do you get what is your salary?" And to which he replied, "The salary is great enough for a wonderful happy L. If that is, naturally, there is no clear answer to such questions." Well, now to the shopping, what I bought, and we'll take home local drinks. The first is vodka 25. I don't know what it's made of. There's a picture of a ginseng root. The second is 30, the third bottle is 30. Well, this is local beer. Well, this is what local tobacco, like also as a gift, everything as a gift, local fish or shrimp, in general seafood. And all this cost me $10. The color is very beautiful. Well, this is shrimp, dried shrimp. Looks like aujiguli. Light beer. Everything here is light. Besides life. I caught myself wondering if I could live here. I got scared. I really got scared. This is not a joke. Far from a joke. It seems like you are riding on a bus. The guide is your own little world. But if you take a closer look, you start to feel uneasy. I also noticed that most houses don't have central heating because all the windows are sweaty and foggy. It fogs up because something is being cooked there. A little bit of local television. The boy is plump. Being plump is considered a sign of happiness here. Pioneer covered in medals. You can see Dad. Here everyone is planting pine trees. You see, a girl is taking a photo. Well, a report somewhere. Party icon. Everyone is planting trees and everyone is happy. In all the photos and in all the videos, people always have smiles. I saw such Christmas trees when I was driving by today. Some village. So the next channel. Cartoons. So this was the second first. Here they show Pyongyang. Everything is blooming. There aren't that many channels in principle. Maybe we just have it at the hotel. Are there any restrictions? Well, as usual, everything here is about rockets. Early morning, day 2. View from the window. Fog. The picture basically doesn't change. It's very fresh outside. And here are these two. Things make noise until late. One, and there's the second one. We are starting breakfast now. Everybody needs to come down. The guide advised to leave a tip for those who clean the room. Not in the form of money, but chocolates today. We will leave this American Mars. Will they take it or not? I think they will take it. I specially collected lots and lots of 10 ruble coins at home. About 40 of them. And I'm slowly handing them out. Yesterday I offered it to 4 people and only one took it, the rest flatly refused. From foreign currency. This is exactly that very road by which we come here. It is already clear here that we are cut off from civilization. We can't just leave here, that is. We are always under control. You see down there, they were building something and didn't finish it. And they didn't finish building it for a long time. And even breakfast is accompanied by a melody. Communist Party. First coffee, and then pig's pig, and the horse eggs. I can't if there is no egg for breakfast. This is how it was brought into our family. Chicken eggs, and salads, food as food. Nothing unusual. With such a local accent. By the way, the fried eggs are fried in a very interesting way.
Good morning.
Good morning. You need to check out the grass from the rucola. This is not a rucola. The taste of some carrot. It feels like I'm somewhere in a pioneer camp. And this feeling hasn't left me for 24 hours now. Morning walk. I just saw it now. That there is a fence down below. You can't even get close to the water. That is, the hotel territory is very fenced off. You can't go down. First they said yes, then they said no. That is, only in the presence of a guide can I go down there. The guide is always nearby. He doesn't leave you alone. Does not go away. The only place where you can walk here is this area near the hotel. That's all. That means you must always be visible. If you are lost from sight, there will be trouble. There will be trouble. 9 a.m. the first excursion starts. while I was sitting at the reception trying to find out about my salary. This is already the third attempt. Naturally, there is no answer to this question. That is, he avoids answering in every possible way. Immediately begins to not understand. You need to ask the elder is coming, we are happy. That is to say, you will not get an answer. Good morning. And they're already starting to look at me sideways. What kind of microphone do you have? That is, they're starting to be afraid. I'm starting to be a little afraid that I might get shaken up before going out on video. That's what we have today. Greenhouses and church. Well, I think so. Everything is according to plan. The bus is about to start moving, and that guy over there is filming us. That is to say, it is a very interesting film. From the point of view North Koreans. That is, how we get on the bus, how our bus goes. Our local cinema. Sunglasses. Blinking microphone. The key to a successful customs inspection. Leaving the island. I also noticed that any construction project necessarily involves military personnel. Any construction projects are under military control. There are very few cars, although yesterday evening there was. Even a small traffic jam, most of the numbers are blue. In general, there is no private transport here, and if there is, then all of it is still registered to some government institutions. That is, it must always belong to some organization. Mostly cycling and walking. In general, Korea is a country where you need to read between the lines, as they say. That is, it seems like there is only one picture, but you need to see it. The main thing I want to ask is, where is the entire population? This is the capital. That is, what we see are just some isolated cases. There are in Russian, by the way, cavaliers of the highest orders and honorary titles of the foundation, patron of the council, the great leader of the Korean people, Comrade Kim Il-sung, and the great leader, Comrade Kim Jong-un. In 2006, with the knowledge of the immortal merits of the great leader of the Korean people Kim Il-sung, the great leader Comrade drugoymir and Kim Jong-il, he was highlighted. That is, they cannot be written in the same font and color. Here is the entrance to the church. Asked a question to the guide, what is the religion in Korea? None. We say we don't believe in anything. They ask who this church is for then. For diplomats, for tourists. There stands the priest, maybe. They put those 3 girls behind us. Supposedly they are Orthodox. Now we'll leave, everything will close. You can light some candles, the aunt sang for us. This show is purely for tourists. Now we will leave and everything will end. Look at the employee, I wanted to say the employee is like a priest. All his assistants. Took photos with aunties. They allowed me. At first they were of course perplexed, but they allowed me. It's 10 a.m. It's getting warmer outside. It's already bearable in a denim jacket. We're heading to the next location. I looked in on these aunties who were singing. They have everything in Russian there. Part in Russian texts, part in Korean. Well, again, there is no religion in the country. But because of respect, because of some partnerships, connections, here, with the Christian world, well, with Russia. That is, this church was built in honor of friendly relations, and many cities took part their Chebuksary. Moscow Pyatigorskabik on friendly relations in general. 2 countries. You see, There's a girl running, and now I'm pointing the camera in that direction. Where is the road repair going on? Guide right away said, do not remove, i.e. do not remove any repair work. I talked to the guide, and he was very surprised. What Samsung is South Korea doing? And the good cars are South Korean. It was some kind of discovery for him. That is how limited they are in access to information. To world news. Local only. Local TV. Imagine in Moscow there being so many cars near the train station. No matter how you try to befriend the guide, gain his trust, they have their own wave. He's basically young. He's 22 years old. We were sitting at the reception and talking. It seems like everything is about to happen. We are friends, and we smile at each other. Why is your microphone on fire? Again blew everything, drank a cup of coffee again. We are already friends. And sometimes he may want to say something, but quickly remembers that he is not allowed to talk much. 200 squares for the weaver. In the center of Pyongyang, in the best area. Sometimes you want to joke and say, what kind of fools do you take us for? You can't do that. Let's repeat the question. Where are all the people? Well, I see they like Japanese cars here. Hated Toyotas. I managed to remove the camera in time. A Volkswagen, some really fancy Touareg, was passing by. I think there's a soldier sitting there with an iPhone 16 or 15. Well, there's a reason. There are already small houses here, and here you can also see flowers standing closer. Here is the front part of the facade. The main streets must be perfectly clean, trees whitewashed. The scale of the construction is certainly astonishing, but as soon as we aligned with the construction site, the guide immediately said again no filming, no photos or videos, and the second guide, Dasha, a girl, immediately got up and went to see if anyone was filming, I thought. They always fly past. Even if you quietly pull out a camera from the window, the military can see it and stop the bus and say it was filmed. I don't know why, but all the buildings when you leave Pyongyang have some kind of problems with the roofs. That is, they are rotten, crooked, and partially collapsed. And these fields are guarded by the military. As the guide said, these are fruit orchards, apple, plum, pear, completely controlled by the military. That is, they look after them. And once a month, all residents of Pyongyang are given fruit. Well, if there is some kind of norm, it is free. We're being filmed again. It's very quiet here. I noticed that in North Korea, there are a lot of spruce, pine, and coniferous trees. And now we were driving. How hard workers they are. Even among the stones they plant apple orchards. That is, stones and mountains are not a hindrance to them. 10 kilometers from Pyongyang, when these villages begin, everything near the road is beautiful. If you go deeper inside, you can see these barracks there. They are scary to look at. It seems to me as in any other side. It's no better for us if we climb into some hollow somewhere. This is what a tiger looks like. Tiger, I fell behind the group. Now I'm going to be under total surveillance. Just imagine that I am now walking at the end of the group and I am going down like this and going down and going into the forest. What will happen here? Panic will start here. Where did one tourist disappear to? Who is he? What is he? Put him on the list immediately. We'll get separated from the group. There's an excursion there. Well, look, pay attention to the hat of this young man. Very interesting. And probably depends on the position and the shoulder strap. That is, some have them like the Russian police. This papaka cap is thin. And some have thick ones. And some have some kind of diamond-shaped one with some kind of pattern. There are no people at all. No one comes to admire. Well, so that the tourist doesn't lag behind. There is always. That's what men are like. Who protect us. What if we suddenly want to disappear? There is nothing more beautiful than to see. North Korean boys. Before you enter the greenhouse, you go into something like this. Steam convection oven, you were treated with hot air well, and something else. Well, that's it. Now you can go. It's really cool here. It's like a fairy tale here. And how do they get to the top? How do they harvest? They rotate it. Beautiful. Salads, 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 lots of salads. I certainly didn't expect this. You see it now in North Korea. A military man stands in a white winter hat. These greenhouses are probably for tourists. What exactly has some production capacity is further down the line. Beautiful. Juicy. Such really acidic colors. I think I ate this grass. I still don't understand what kind of grass it is. At first I thought it was rucola today. They gave us this thing. I didn't understand the taste. Here is a machine that will lift you up. Birch. More salads. Well, here you can see something planted. The inscription is incomprehensible to us. See what kind of soil it is. It's also not clear. Another greenhouse. Well, naturally music. Music. They say that salads grow better with music. Everything is moving. 3 guides are walking with us. It's already warm here. And again, there is music here too. Everything is neat and tidy. Tomatoes grow here. Well, for now everything is still green. Comrade guide. Music for whom? For workers or for plants?
Our Koreans love this song very much, yes. This song is based on our state.
$1,800 people work in greenhouses. I've seen at most 20. There are 7 on the horizon ahead. 2 people went there. And there are 2 more in this room. Well, in the end, these are the tomatoes we see. And cucumbers. I need to give. Interview.
Okay?
In short, I only need to say good things, or honestly or truthfully. So let's start and cut it out. I really like this greenhouse complex. The people here are all fabulous. Everyone is happy. Very good. Beautiful music is playing. It is very clean. Everything here is simply wonderful. Welcome to the KNDR. Thank you. Thank you. Now they asked tourists to write reviews when they left the greenhouse complex, and then the guide went there to check and read the reviews that Russian tourists wrote because they don't understand, because there's something bad there that's incomprehensible. And then someone important will come and will read something wrong. Video for memory. With a local girl. Here in such a beautiful form. The whole movie is over. Tomatoes and cucumbers are removed from the scales. Nobody bought anything. Goodbye. We pass the checkpoint, and at all the posts where there are military soldiers, they salute the bus. It seems that we don't have any military. Or they see that tourists are sitting in the bus, and everyone stands at attention and salutes. Production before automation. Such a steely look from everyone. We are going down again to the place where a huge construction is going on here 100% again. We stop video and photography. The guide will stand up and watch everyone. There are really thousands of people at the construction sites. The bus is driving and everyone is looking at it. People are used to tea. The fact that there are no cars here at all. That's why we are like a monkey with grenades for them. We've been driving for about 15 to 20 minutes now. Not a single oncoming car has passed us yet, and we haven't overtaken a single car. That is, if in Panana there are a lot of cars, well, relatively, then here there are practically none at all. Some bicycles and military, civilians, everyone is on bicycles. The only difference is that some bicycles are simple, others are electric. greenhouses. The only thing I'm afraid of is that, God forbid, a military man of some higher management gets into the frame and stops the bus and forces you to delete everything. The operator, aka Kemley, aka an employee. He came closer to me, sitting in one row with a camera. They probably sent him here because construction is about to start. Oh, see what I'm doing. This is the first time I've had to film in this format. From under my elbow in a corner. Construction has begun only on the starboard side. The operator is attentive and carefully glances sideways in my direction, but he doesn't see that I'm filming. Today is a holiday. Today is the leader's birthday. I hope we will see a festive event. Some kiosk with tasty treats, but we can't go near it. We can only look at it from the bus. And they say that in North Korea there are no traffic jams. Here is a real traffic jam. And we stand in it. You can't take pictures of things like that. Even if the facade is closed, you still can't. There's definitely no management company here. Nobody looks after the facades. It seems like it's the city center, but there are a lot of abandoned buildings. They started building and then abandoned them. It's not the first time I've noticed that people are walking around with 5-liter bottles of oil. That is, they are probably given it somewhere. It's very common. I don't know, maybe it's a monthly norm. At first I didn't really understand the significance of this. But when you come across 100 people in an hour, you start to think about it. When you hate Japan so much, Kim-sen and King Kanir are always watching you. I wonder how 40 foreigners came if, apart from Russians, even the Chinese are not allowed to enter here. Lunch at our shooting range. Don't be shy, open it. Full glass okay, it's me and my friend, the rest are left. The rest all went to shoot at targets at the shooting range. And we shoot at beer bottles. Well, lunch is lunch. I was left alone in the dining room.
За кадром, что происходит, когда уходят туристы. Начинается уборка.
The prices here are actually pennies. I don't know who regulates them, but everything is cheap. Finally, you can see them up close. Life behind the scenes is more interesting. Today it is unclear to whom I gave chocolates. I should probably throw a backpack with me next time. I will only give it to the nice ones. I gave the girls 40 rubles. Well, There are 4 of them here, 10 coins each. They got scared and won't take them. They are afraid. I think I will leave. They will take them just as a keepsake, for a long memory. Girls, you can shoot now. I took a photo with a sniper. She is a sniper girl. Allowed me to take a photo. Not everyone allows taking photos. Everyone disappeared somewhere. Looks like there's only one left. I guess everyone left. Without me. Our next location is and where are we going? Some kind of opera. Well, in general, something connected with the opera. We probably won't go there. We'll stay either on the bus or take a walk, but that's not the point. I just saw a Lada Priora at the intersection. I didn't have time to take a picture. We drove off, and at that time it turned left. Lada Priora in North Korea, friends. I'm starting to like this country. On the 3rd day. Stay. Prices are like in the Soviet Union. Chinese jock machine. Private pond with fish. By the way, this tree is loved in North Korea. Weeping willow is one of the favorite trees, and everyone is happy. I tried to talk to the guide. He has a badge with 2 photos hanging on it. I said, "For how much are you willing to sell this badge?" "For $50, he said. "No," I said. $100 no. $200 no. That is, they will never sell this badge in their life. Belonging to the party system. For them it's like selling their own father. At night I looked out the window and saw Pyongyang at night. At night I looked out the window and looked at Pyongyang at night. The city is naturally poorly lit, but there will always be lights. I don't know what to call this pedestal. In general, the image where the 2 leaders are depicted. Before Kim Jong-un. And all of them are illuminated 24 hours a day. That is, when there is a need for it, they always glow. And literally every 500 meters, there are such images. This is in the city of Pyongyang. 415, remember this number. It will appear often in my video. A trolleybus in which 4 people are riding. Country Bolshoi Theater. This is what the Korean subway looks like. We don't know what station it is. Well, a trip to the subway. But they didn't say which station.
Proletarian.
Proletarian. Everyone is happy. Let's look at the faces. Local. And it was as if everything was calculated for us. Empty span. Probably tourists only visit this station. Roll. Finally people. Nobody really wants to meet our gaze. Either they turn away or look somewhere ahead. Look. No one looked right in the eyes. As if they don't notice us. The soldier immediately turns his head away. Hides face. Only one waved. Children just flutter around. Maybe I should stay and live in Korea. Thoughts have been visiting me for the last 2 days. Light. Once again clean. Light. All with icons. Almost everything.
Практически все.
Everyone is happy judging by their faces.
Все счастливы, судя по лицам. До Перова.
I urgently need to find the end of this platform.
Срочно нужно найти до конца этой платформы.
Look, there are newspapers here.
Смотрите,
Locals.
газеты.
Read them.
Читают их.
Some news feed today.
Какая-то новостная лента сегодняшняя.
Here is something looking for something fresh.
Что-то ищет свежее.
Tourists take pictures.
Туристы фотографируют.
He asked me to take a photo, and this woman immediately came
И вот этот
up and looked at the angle from which the photo was taken.
ракурс сидел.
That is, there shouldn't be a truncated version of the comrades.
Товарищи
Supreme leaders.
верховных лидеров.
Be sure to watch it.
Смотрите обязательно.
Flowers are laid.
Цветочки.
I understand that you can't get any closer.
Я так понимаю, что ближе подходить нельзя.
Well, you shouldn't do that.
Ну и не стоит этого делать.
The carriages are old.
Вагоны старенькие.
Pongwa Station metro station.
Станция метро Понгва.
The carriage was completely cleared of locals
Вагон
so that they could
полностью
sit down.
освободили от местных, чтобы
Tourists
сели
come here,
сюда, туристы.
but naturally, since we are in a carriage,
Естественно, так как мы находимся в вагоне,
there are always two photos.
всегда есть две фотографии.
Well, and there.
Ну а там
Well, that's where the secret services are sitting.
сидят,
At least look at the local residents through the window.
ну, посмотреть на местных жителей.
This guy here has become a principal backstop,
Вот дядька,
so that they don't watch or film.
чтобы
There was someone in a military uniform standing there, and they probably told him to stand up, close.
ему встать.
From tourists, we were told to get out.
Туристов нам сказали выйти.
Everyone is looking at us.
Все на нас.
Well, here it is as usual. Beautiful pictures. Party.
Картинки.
You can't go past women.
Дальше.
Yes, no.
Дальше нельзя проходить? Нельзя?
They are like a limiter right.
No. They are servants of the warriors. They are warriors? Subway. Yes.
Они воины?
So who is depicted here?
Так, это кто здесь у нас?
Comrade Kim Il-sung. Yes, I already said don't point a finger.
Все, пальцем не показывать. Место.
The place where tourists are standing is automatically freed up so that tourists can pass.
Чтобы могли проехать туристы.
The KGB special services always accompany us,
Всегда нас
everywhere,
везде.
absolutely everywhere.
Абсолютно.
Even a guy with a newspaper got into our carriage. Well, he must have mixed up the carriage.
Сел мужик с газеткой.
It was clear that no one kicked him out. He sat with us until the very end.
Его никто не выгнал, он сидел с нами.
Judging by the trousers and shoes,
Судя
you probably understood who is standing next to me. Like, he's fiddling with his phone.
так, типа в телефончике говорит.
Of course, all this reaches the point of absurdity, but
Доходит до абсурда.
it's a fact. 25th, 45th year. Break away from the group a little. 25th, 45th year. Break away from the group a little. He knows everyone by sight. They are already looking. Where did this guy with the cameras go? I go up to the guide and say, let's go to the toilet. We'll get there. There's a city toilet 20 meters away. No, you can't do that under any circumstances. That is, we will now go to the theater where a place is set aside specifically for tourists. Under no circumstances should you go to the toilet where you can cross paths with local residents. Total control. Absolutely everyone who wears badges always wears suits or some kind of black dark uniform. Just when you start to relax, you are immediately brought down to earth. If you look closely at our crowd, here we are, I don't know, 20 people. Two guides are walking. One is there, the other is there. Naturally, this crowd begins to disperse little by little. But there are specially trained people who look after our crowd, so not by chance. They exist, but tourists simply don't notice them. Now I'm standing on the sidelines and watching the picture of how we are being watched. Comrade Git has already told me 40 times today that I take too many photos. And do you really say that you love photographs? I say, yes, I really love photographs. I say, well, I rarely get to such countries. The most I need to do is take a photograph, but he is not inclined. We pass that very metro station, from which we have already emerged to the surface. I understand that the traffic lights are not working. Here are female and male traffic controllers standing there. If you look closely, the cyclists get off their bikes and start walking. And, accordingly, they roll the bike next to them. Electric or not, it doesn't matter if there are images of great leaders nearby. That is, it is considered an insult if you passed by the image of the leader. There are special people who even stop cyclists who may not have seen it. There is a very strong cult of personality. Women at traffic lights are like robots. Of course, I didn't notice it the first time. No one will just let you come up to her and film all her movements. After we left the shooting range where we had lunch, ready near the metro, the guide gave me my 40 rubles. These are 4 coins of 10 each that I gave to the waitresses as a souvenir. That is, after everyone left, they called him and gave the guide this money. And he returned them to me. They say they are not used to receiving souvenirs and gifts from strangers. I say, okay, but they accept chocolates. But that's different. Chocolates can be money. That's almost bribing an official. That's how it's formulated here. Absolutely everything here regulated by the state. Every step you take, every movement you make. Grandfather shows you there are foreigners, there are white people other than us. They brought us again to another store, to the gift shop. I asked her to go to the toilet. That is, we went backstage, and again a female guide went next to me. Now she's standing near the toilet, watching so that I don't go out. That is, I'll leave the toilet now. I can go into a store and I can go into some area where people walk. Now she's standing in the toilet waiting for me to leave. A military suit costs $300. So you can become a North Korean soldier. Everything is in bucks. Only dollars. Dollars decide everything. About the product is repeated. Here you can buy a rocket inflatable, or what inflatable rockets. Inflatable rockets are a favorite topic. In these stores again, everything is in the style of military. missiles, weapons, bayons,
вооружение, баян
and ginseng. There is a lot of ginseng here.
и женьшень. Женьшень здесь очень.
The shopping tour is over well.
Шоп-тур закончен.
About once a day they bring.
Примерно один раз в день завозят магазины, где туристов
In shops where tourists buy all sorts of things, I bought some too.
всячину. Я тоже купил.
In general,
Лего,
Lego Korean rocket is not for yourself,
ракета.
but for a child. There are also some advantages here. In principle,
В
look,
принципе, свои плюсы.
no advertising, no banners only.
Рекламы, никаких баннеров, только
Party posters,
партийные плакаты
and that's all.
и только
Birthdays of leaders all. Now you can imagine what kind of control there is here.
представляете,
12,000 students and 1,000 teachers. That is, there is one teacher for 12 students.
получается на 12 учеников один педагог. И сколько же здесь предметов?
I would really like to see North Korea in 10 years. Well, if the borders open,
Через 10.
if the world internet comes here.
Откроются границы, если сюда зайдет мировой.
In my personal opinion, the system will collapse.
Мое мнение, это крах системы начнется.
So basically, it will always be like this here.
Здесь будет так всегда.
Nothing much should change.
Особо
It's fun to walk through the open spaces together.
весело шагать по просторам.
Full bus Korean beauty.
Полный автобус, корейский красавец.
It's a wedding. Yes, it is a wedding.
Это свадьба?
And please ask that girl in yellow, so that I can take a photo with her.
Чтобы я с ней сфотографировался.
She probably doesn't agree.
You probably didn't even ask.
Наверное, ты даже не спросил. Не любит
The
фотографировать.
woman does not like to be photographed.
Не лю- А, то, что нас со свадьбы. Мы вдвоем не пошли на концерт.
We both didn't go to the concert, and I'm standing there talking to the guide. And as soon as my second tour colleague goes away, he immediately
Сразу.
starts following him. This is what the flowers look like. It's about 50 cents each flower.
Так вот выглядят цветы. Это где-то 50
These are 21 flowers. It turns out that all the flowers that are given here are artificial.
цветы,
Well, the cheapest ones.
искусственные.
You can't take pictures of such flowers.
Нельзя?
Again, there was a freeze frame because you can't take pictures of flowers either. In general, all the flowers are artificial and they are given as gifts. And they cost pennies. Well, naturally, they are shoved at tourists for $5. At this time, when I turned off the camera, a girl came up. That is, flowers are rented. They take photos and bring them back. Such moments also cannot be filmed. The most important thing is that, while we were standing there, we started talking about something. I said, how do these cars even get here? I said, Japan is enemy number one. They said, yes, I said. But this is how it's standing. And there are two Toyota Camrys standing next to each other. And all the Toyota buses are standing there. These are Chinese. These are not Japanese. I said, what do you mean Chinese? People stupidly believe that all this is produced by China. My friend, it seems to me that on the first day, even more was allowed to somehow film. But now he sees that this thing is blinking blue on me, and he just starts following me. So now, there are two more events, and that's enough for today. In general, a blogger here must work as a spy, because it is very difficult to collect material.
Очень тяжело собирать материал.
The same applies to the phone. Again, if you hang a microphone on the phone, which will also hang like a gadget, everything. At some factories, but you will see them always in the squares where rehearsals are taking place.
На площадях, где идут репетиции,
Every day something is rehearsing some parades,
парады.
that is any dances, any events, are always timed to something.
Мероприятия к чему-то всегда приурочены.
And they happen here without stopping.
И они здесь происходят
And there are constant rehearsals.
без остановки.
Rehearsal is an integral part of the life of a North Korean citizen.
Репетиция – это неотъемлемая часть жизни гражданина Северной Кореи.
Some delegations are being transported from some event, and then 10 buses with women's national costumes and probably 5 buses passed ahead. All the men were also in formal suits.
Наверное, автобусов 5 мужиков.
It's impossible for a tourist to walk here alone. I can't even imagine myself, for example, I got on a bike and rode alone. Even if I'm alone, in the dark, so as not to stand out too much, my path will still be short. They'll find me and figure me out within 20 minutes. Probably for today, I don't know, the penultimate event is the last, but it feels like
Бред последний мероприятие.
we are being driven in circles back and forth. Where we can walk, we are being taken by bus. Minimum contact, minimum communication with local residents. I think he was the only one who didn't ask me the question, why do you shoot so many videos? He probably would have asked, do you have a camera? Yes. So here in Russian, it is written in more detail, thus the great Soviet people defeated the Japanese imperialists and liberated the Korean people with the blood spilled by Soviet soldiers during the liberation of Korea. He bonds between the Korean and Soviet peoples were strengthened even more. As a sign of national gratitude, this monument was erected. Well, this is a must-see part. The shooting range where the locals shoot is not suitable for you. The guide as a werewolf will immediately be next to you.
Как оборотень сразу
It's getting dark and cold. Notice tracksuits only on sports grounds at some physical education events. No one just comes, not a single person has jeans, not a single one, only dark clothes. Wanted to see thousands of people, here they are. Thousands real North Koreans, pioneers, and trophy collars.
пионеры, андатровые воротники.
Well, now they will probably bring us here again, closer to the Triumphal Arch. We were here today, but they won't take us to where thousands of people come out. They will lift us up.
Людей нас не ведут.
This is this ant.
Вот эта тетка.
Comrade Kim Il-sung is also he, this is he. Comrade Kim Jong-un. Supreme Commander-in-Chief, this is Comrade Kim Jong-un. So here they are.
Вот они, тысячи.
Thousands, some kind of amusement park. And a stadium. Comrade guide here, it is Central Street, number of cars Now it's rush hour beauty.
Количество машин. Сейчас получается час пик.
Beauty and the city is just being built under construction still.
Город строится.
It seems to me that these new buildings are getting old faster.
Быстрее получается в этих новостроях.
In general,
В общем, все как всегда.
everything is as always. Gratitude to the Commander Kim Il-sung.
Благодарность полководцу Ким Ир Сену.
Imagine how many thousands of people
Представьте, сколько
there are
здесь
at the same time.
тысяч
It's
человек
cold outside, so you understand.
одновременно.
It's not very fun to dance in a shirt right
На
now.
улице холодно, чтобы вы понимали.
We're freezing in
в
sweatshirts.
рубашечке плясать это не очень сейчас весело. Мы в толстовках мерзнем.
Zombieland.
Зомбиленд.
Mars was taken and they wished him good night.
Марс забрали. И
In
пожелали
general, it
good
doesn't
night.
matter whether it's Alyonka or Mars or an American.
Неважно,
they'll
это
eat him
Аленка или
anyway.
Марс. Или американцы.
Let's
Всё
wish them a
равно
bon appetit.